From an extensive lineup of indie games and incredible blockbusters, the consistent quality of releases this year is something to behold. If you haven't gotten lost in the gorgeous world of Clair Obscur Expedition 33 or discovered the brilliance of Cyrodiil in the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion Remastered, then maybe you experienced the Forza Horizon 5 and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on PS5 for the first time. Such is the range of quality that I almost forgot about Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, Dynasty Warriors Origins, and Atomfall. The next 6 weeks will be even more enticing, with Elden Ring Night Rain, Mario Kart World, and the Switch 2 launch, and the long-awaited Death Stranding 2 on the beach. The year's second half is still TBD, with publishers doubtlessly scrambling to fill the void after Grand Theft Auto 6's delay. However, with all the showcases coming in June, we could see several potential release dates announcements. Amid all this hype, one game has seemingly slipped under the radar, made all the more bizarre by the time left before its release. We're talking about MindsEye, an action-adventure title developed by Build a Rocket Boy, founded by Lesley Benzies of Rockstar North fame. It's out on June 10th for Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC, and the initial trailer gave the vibe of a GTA-coded playground with all the explosiveness and action to appeal to the franchise's fans. Or at least those who only wanted the explosiveness and action, because that's more or less what the reveal gameplay trailer from February showcased. Lots of running around, lots of blowing up cars with guns, some driving, some cars blowing up while driving. Honestly, the amount of vehicular destruction is borderline concerning. Of course, the developer later clarified that the narrative is more linear than emergent or sandboxy. However, we're a little over 3 weeks out from launch, and the only gameplay seen thus far has been that trailer and 2 recent gameplay teasers. One shows protagonist Jacob Diaz gunning down some enemies in a sequence more than a little reminiscent of Trevor attacking the Lost MC's hideout in GTA 5. Eventually, he pursues them through the streets while a dust storm is in effect. The second teaser is longer but less exciting, showcasing some driving through Red Rock City at night. No overview trailer, no walkthrough of a mission, not even much by way of what makes the gameplay of MindsEye special or unique. It's a marketing strategy garnering attention almost exclusively for its lack of marketing.
Fire I'm hearing?
Well, it ain't popcorn. You think I blew up Little John's trailer? Some of those red sand mercs are here too. They must be responsible. Mercs are leaving.
This isn't to say that Build a Rocket Boy isn't advertising something different with MindsEye. You may remember the studio's first announced project, Everywhere, an MMO more geared towards acting as a content platform where users can create and share different experiences. It also consists of a few districts, each with gameplay elements like racing and third-person shooting, while Arcadia, its editor, lets you create different components. All of this attracted skepticism, especially given the controversy surrounding metaverse-style games. If you watch its trailer from last year, it's seemingly going for a Fortnite-style content platform experience. And MindsEye? It's purportedly an experience within Everywhere, developed by the studio likely to showcase what Arcadia is capable of. But it can also be modified to create different versions of MindsEye to mess around in. Associate game director Adam Whiting told Edge magazine that he likened it to Minecraft servers. There are the official servers, but there are custom servers with wacky stuff. Maybe there's a zombie apocalypse server you go on, or one where they wipe the map of our story and characters and tell their own narrative using our tools. There's at least some potential, however small, of a sandbox-like experience, kind of sort of like GTA, but not really. There are also the bonus missions created with Arcadia included in the Digital Deluxe Edition. So it's possible, at least based on what Build a Rocket Boy is saying, to infuse MindsEye with more content to keep it going beyond the standard launch experience. How does it all work, at least in layman's terms? Why isn't the developer showcasing it in trailers or hyping up the same? It doesn't seem like you need Everywhere to play MindsEye, seeing as it's launching as a standalone product, but will that change down the line? To recap then, not only does MindsEye not have any extensive official gameplay, and what we've seen thus far hardly seems all that special, but there's an entire user-generated content side for it that Build a Rocket Boy hasn't even touched on. Again, about 3 weeks out from launch, no pressure and all that, but if you're charging $60 for an experience, the least you could offer is more extensive details and gameplay. And no, shooting cars and watching them explode isn't going to cut it. Of course, some would give the benefit of the doubt to Benzies. On top of being the former president of Rockstar North, the core developer behind the Grand Theft Auto titles, including the upcoming GTA 6, he's been involved in every single one of Rockstar's biggest releases. A producer on every title in the series starting from Grand Theft Auto 3, an executive producer on Max Payne 3 and LA Noire, a producer and game designer on Grand Theft Auto 5. At one point, Benzies was synonymous with Rockstar North almost as much as Dan Houser was with Rockstar as a whole. Maybe he's earned some reprieve given his illustrious history. However, remember that Grand Theft Auto 5, his last project, was released in 2013? Everywhere was announced in January 2017, starting development on Amazon's Lumberyard engine before switching to Unreal Engine in 2020. It was slated to launch in 2023 but saw delays in 2024. Build a Rocket Boy laid off an unknown number of employees. Though it began in Edinburgh, the developer has 2 other studios in Montpellier and Budapest. This isn't implying that either project has seen development troubles, but with the long development cycle for Everywhere, you would expect a more concrete release window or assurance at this point. As for MindsEye, it was first teased in 2022, making it almost 3 years since. It's possible that the developer won't share anything until the final polishing stages. It could be going down to the wire, maybe announcing a last-minute delay if things don't work out. The problem is that aside from these gameplay teasers and narrative trailers, which haven't really given us a reason to care about any of the characters, aside from that one dancing robot, there's been very little communication from the studio this close to launch. It's ironic, considering how it touted this as a meaningful, well-crafted story, or how the camera during high-speed driving would make you feel like you were in a Fast and Furious film. If that's a tease for going into space at some point, it would be one of the few intriguing things in MindsEye. Finally, and I can't emphasize this enough, not everyone sets out from the studio where they made their name to become a success. With all the talks around user-generated content, the launch of MindsEye may not be what defines it down the line. However, Build a Rocket Boy needs to detail what makes this a worthwhile experience on its own and fast. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.